Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. This video is part 2 of a series of videos I am doing on hyperpigmentation. On my last video, which was part 1, I talked about diffused hyperpigmentation, which is when your face becomes much darker than your body. It is also when you have strong contrast on your face with lighter and darker areas. And all of this overall make your face look dull. I suffer from that if I don't have the right routine. For this video, I want to focus on hyperpigmentation that causes dark spots, and that's actually the type of hyperpigmentation that is the most talked about. And there are different types of dark spots like post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, melasma, or sunspots, which are the main ones. To understand hyperpigmentation, we need to understand a little bit how it works. We all have in our body cells which are called melanocytes, and those cells produce melanin. The melanin is transferred from those cells to our skin, and due to our genetic, the result is going to be a lighter or a darker complexion when it comes to skin tone. When we suffer from hyperpigmentation that causes dark spots, the melanocytes produce even more melanin. They become even more active than necessary. And as a result, they transfer more melanin to targeted areas of the skin. And those areas become darker, and that's what we call dark spots. Our melanocytes can be triggered to produce more melanin, extra melanin, that will create hyperpigmentation for different reasons. It could be due to chronic sun exposure. It could be due to different type of irritation to the skin that can be caused by trauma to the skin, but also it could be due to internal inflammation or irritation that can come from medication. And actually the different type of irritation will cause sunspots or post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation or melasma. And let's start with the sunspots. People who are the most affected by sunspots are people who have lighter skin tones. So the main cause is genetic, and obviously the other cause is chronic sun exposure. So it is sun exposure that happens all the time for years. The exposure to the sun you had as a kid, as a teenager, as a young adult can show up in your 30s, 40s, and 50s. Although, yes, lighter skin tone are more at risk to get sunspots, we can't forget the element of sun exposure that varies a lot from one person to another person. What you can do about it is complicated when we think about solutions, because the best thing you can do is prevention. And I'm sure that you are first thinking about sunscreen, but my first thinking is mindful sun exposure when possible. It is wearing hats, it is wearing sunglasses, it is wearing appropriate clothing. And I'm saying that because I see too many people that think that sunscreen will totally protect them from sun exposure, but sunscreen has its limit. As a prevention, the other thing you can do to add extra protection would be to use an antioxidant before using your sunscreen. And the most known antioxidant is vitamin C. And the most studied of vitamin C is L-ascorbic acid. And you can find several brands using this type of vitamin C to give extra protection to the skin. Usually they are sold at a concentration between 10 to 20%. But the problem with this type of vitamin C is that if you have sensitive skin, or if you have a darker skin, your skin may not like this type of vitamin C. Your skin might be irritated by this type of vitamin C. So more recently, brands have produced products with vitamin C derivatives, which are supposed to be good. There is no proper study showing how well they work or not. And although those type of products have been popular, I haven't seen proper reviews to give you my opinion on it. But if you have already tried those type of derivatives, please let us know in the comment section. The other type of antioxidant that you can use under your sunscreen are niacinamide, and there are plenty of products with niacinamide. I've already made a full video of niacinamide if you want to find a product that may work for your skin needs. When it comes to hyperpigmentation, there are different ingredients that can be used for different type of hyperpigmentation. And in this case, nobody can tell you which ingredient, which concentration is going to work the best for sunspots. I give you on the screen a sample of products with those ingredients, and all you can do is try them for yourself and see what works best for you. But I must say that some dermatologists think that strong home pills can help. And vitamin C, which I mentioned earlier for prevention, can also help to make sunspots go away to a certain extent. And regarding retinoids, they can help, although the most effective type of retinoid is tretinoid, which is what is prescribed by dermatologists. But in cosmetics, you can also find many brands with products which contain different type of retinoids. It could be retinol, it could be retinal, it could be gonactive retinoids. Different brands use different derivatives at different concentrations, which are all lower than the prescription tretinoid. With that being said, sunspots are very difficult to get rid of, especially if you have a lot, especially if you wait for a long time to start a routine around sunspots. Once they are there, cosmetic might not be enough, and very often are not enough. So you may have to go to a dermatologist so they can perform lasers on the sunspot. There are different types of lasers. It is something that you will have to talk with your doctor, and also with your doctor they can prescribe hydroquinone or tretinoid with specific concentration that will work for you. So in order to manage sunspots, you can try with cosmetic products if you don't have a lot or if you are younger. But if you're getting older and you see that you have quite a big amount of sunspot, it's better, in my opinion, to go and start directly with a dermatologist. But no matter which approach you'll take, even if you can reduce them or if they can disappear temporarily with lasers, you should always have a routine to fight sunspots. It is a lifelong battle from the moment you start to see sunspots on your skin, which is why prevention is absolutely key for this type of dark spots. Melasma is another type of hyperpigmentation, and in this case, the people who tend to have melasma the most are women, and women who tend to have a medium to medium dark skin tone. Women who have very light skin tone or very dark skin tone are less affected by melasma. But everyone in the middle potentially can have melasma. The main cause of melasma is genetic. You just have a genetic predisposition to have melasma, and obviously nobody can know in advance who is going to have this genetic predisposition to get melasma. So when it happens, it happens. Listening to doctors and the studies around it, very often the triggers for melasma to appear are hormonal shifts, which is why very often when women are pregnant, that's when their melasma appears. But it can also appear when you start to take contraceptive pills or when you switch your contraceptive pills. It can also appear when you take HRT, which are hormonal replacement for women who start perimenopause. And obviously there are other medications that I'm not aware of which also can have hormonal shifts. You can find out more with your doctors. And sometimes it can appear like this without any specific reasons. Nobody can predict exactly when it will appear and who will have it and who will never have it among those women with medium to medium dark skin tones. So when it comes to prevention, there isn't much you can do. Once it's there, like sunspot, it's extremely difficult to manage melasma. It will never fully disappear, so the only thing you can do is manage how it looks and try to make it look less visible. So I've talked about the cause, I've talked about the triggers. Now I need to add that the look of melasma is also very influenced by sun exposure. So mindful sun exposure is crucial with hats and with sunscreens. When it comes to melasma, very often doctors will say that not only UVA and UVB can be problematic, but also the sunlight or blue light, which is not covered by most sunscreens. But if you use tinted sunscreen, you can have extra protection. The problem with tinted sunscreen is to find a tinted sunscreen that works for you. That's a nightmare. I've made a video on tinted sunscreens. I have reviewed a few of them, and it is a nightmare to find a good tinted sunscreen. But you can also replace a tinted sunscreen by using regular sunscreen and then adding foundation on top. If you want to know more about it, look for my videos on tinted sunscreen. Another element that can worsen melasma is heat. So obviously in the summertime you can use a sunscreen, but the sunscreen is not going to protect you from the heat around you. What can minimize that will be to have a hat, because the sun is not going to hit your skin directly, which will create even more heat. So with a hat, you can minimize that. But if you are someone who likes to go to a type of spa where they use heat, then you should be aware that heat also makes your melasma look worse. When it comes to cosmetics, the best known ingredients to fight melasma are azelaic acid, niacinamide, and retinoids. So that's where you should look for solution in order to manage your melasma. Nowadays, many cosmetic products contain azelaic acid, but you can also get a prescription drug that is more concentrated. And if you want to know more, I have a full video on azelaic acid. Among retinoids that can help, you have the one that you can find in cosmetic products, but obviously the most potent are going to be the one which are prescribed by dermatologists. Similar to sunspots, because it is so difficult to manage, it's worth going to a dermatologist in order to get prescription medicine to deal with your melasma. And once again, the one that will probably be prescribed to you are hydroquinone, tretinoid, and as I've just said, also prescription azelaic acid. And sometimes they can also give you oral medication. But again, similar to sunspots, even if you get treatment from your doctor, it's not going to be a long life treatment. So if you see an improvement, you should then continue the management of your melasma with cosmetics. And as it's always going to be there, it's a lifetime commitment with cosmetics. Last but not least, let's talk about the type of dark spots I suffer from, and I'm talking about PIH or post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. And this type of hyperpigmentation happens more among people who have darker skin tone to very dark skin tone as well. The main cause is going to be a trauma on the skin. It could be that you just got bitten by a mosquito, so you get an inflammation, or when you have acne, the spots gives an inflammation again, and this inflammation will send a signal to the melanocyte, which is going to overproduce melanin. So when they reach the skin, you get a dark spot. We don't get bitten by mosquitoes or get hurt that easily. So the main reason people tend to have post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation is due to acne. Obviously, the solution is to first target acne, which can be difficult if you are still in your teenage years and you have active acne. But as long as you will get acne, you will get new blemishes that will inflame every time, and in the end it will result in a dark spot. But let's say your acne has been managed or you don't have acne anymore, but you are left with dark spots on your skin. Then, similar to the other type of hyperpigmentation, you have to have a multi-ingredients approach when it comes to the solutions. I'm showing you again all the ingredients that exist in order to fight hyperpigmentation. And when it comes to dark spots due to post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, any of those ingredients can work on your skin. So the important thing is to find which type of products with those ingredients is going to work for you. With my experience, I think that you will get better results if you use products with several of those ingredients at the same time, and if you also include exfoliation. The goal is to fix a problem and not create a new problem. But with each new product you're going to try, you take the risk to irritate your skin and to cause more hyperpigmentation. So for instance, in the case of exfoliation, which can irritate your skin if you use the wrong exfoliation for your skin, it is important to start with lower concentration and going slower towards higher concentration that your skin can handle. Also, there are different types of exfoliation like cleansers, face masks, creams, serums, and depending on the type of product you use and also the level of concentration you use, it's going to be more or less irritating to the skin. Products with hyperpigmentation fighting ingredients like kojic acid, niacinamide, azelaic acid, alpha-arbutin, tranexamic acid, and I add to this list all the existing retinoids with their different concentrations. These are the most popular ingredients, even vitamin C and their derivatives. This type of ingredients must be used every day if you want to see a result, because you will see results with those products only if you use it every day or 5 times a week at least. With exfoliation, you can also use them every day depending on the concentration, but you can also see results if you use them 1 to 2 times a week if you use higher concentration. So it's up to you to see what works better for your skin. Now that I've talked about the different type of products you can use, I'm going to tell you what has worked for me. Exfoliation works great for me when it comes to get rid of dark spots, but I can only use it 1 to 2 a week depending on the rest of my routine. So the first exfoliating product that worked for me was a scrub, actually, from the brand Kiehl's. It's called a microdermabrasion because it has very compact, dense amount of very tiny particles, which you don't see in most scrubs. There is another one that I like from the brand Omorovixa, which has a similar texture, but the particles are a little bit bigger. Not all, but many dermatologists don't like scrubs. I like scrub on my face. I have thick skin, and I've seen results with those type of products even when I was not using other actives on my skin. Unfortunately, it's not easy to find good scrubs. Honestly, except for those two, I don't like any other scrubs I have tried. And also, you have to remember that if you have active acne on your face, you should not use any type of scrubs. Later, I discovered chemical exfoliation, and what works for me, since I only use exfoliant on my skin 1 or 2 a week, are usually stronger acids but in form of masks. So I've tried several ones more recently and I've made a video about it. I tried the Colibri exfoliating mask. That's what I use currently. And with those strong exfoliants that I use once a week, I feel like it gives a boost to my daily routine when it comes to dark spots. On their own, with wearing a sunscreen, I could see a difference with my dark spots. Since then, I discovered hyperpigmentation fighting ingredients. So what I do now is I've added those type of products in my routine on top of exfoliation. Daily, I use serums with hyperpigmentation fighting ingredients. I've tried many and many don't work on my sensitive skin. Only 2 products have worked on my sensitive skin in this category, and they come from the same brand, which is the brand Dr. Sam's. The first daily product that worked for me to get rid of dark spots faster was the Brightly serum from the brand Dr. Sam's. It mixes niacinamide, azelaic acid, bakuchiol, and some level of vitamin C derivative, which is ascorbic glucoside. And this serum really helped to get rid of my dark spots. And it's not a miracle product. No product is a miracle. No matter what you use, no matter what you do, it takes several months to get rid of dark spots. But it does. In the video, I also told you several times that retinoids are also good ingredients when it comes to get rid of dark spots. Obviously, the ultimate, most effective of all the retinoids is tretinoid, which is the drug form, which is what is prescribed by dermatologists. But since tretinoid is very strong and I have sensitive skin, I decided to try milder version, and I tried the nightly serum with the brand Dr. Sam's, which contains guanactive retinoids. She has the nightly serum and the nightly pro, which is more concentrated. I used it for dark spots, but also because retinoids are good for acne. So with a nightly serum, I like this serum for evening out my diffuse hyperpigmentation. I like it to manage the small level of acne that I have now, but I didn't see an improvement when it comes to my dark spots compared to the Brightly serum. The Brightly serum was more effective on my skin. But I continued to use it, and at some point I decided to use the Nightly Pro serum. And with this version, which is more concentrated on retinoids, I see an improvement when it comes to my dark spots. So the 2 products that work for me are the Brightly serum and the Nightly Pro serum from the brand Dr. Sam's. In my opinion and with my results, I know that with what exists in cosmetics, you can get great results for post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. But if you've tried everything, or if you are tired to try products and you don't see the results you wish to see, then again, go see a dermatologist, because they can have stronger prescription to give you to work on your hyperpigmentation. And again, very often they will give you hydroquinone or tretinoid. A good routine with the products that work for you can make those dark spots away. But while using those products, it is again very important to be diligent with your sun exposure, mindful sun exposure, hats, sunscreens has to be added to your routine, because once the dark spot is there, with the sun, it can get darker or make it more persistent on your skin. That's one issue. And the second issue is that the type of products you're going to use in order to make your dark spot go away will make your skin more sensitive to the sun. So that's another reason to be more diligent with your sun protection. Don't worry, on my next video I will share my routine when it comes to hyperpigmentation to show you how I include those different ingredients and products in my routine. It seems complicated, but they all have a place. In the comment section, please let us know if you've ever suffered from melasma, sunspots, or PIH, and let us know what has worked for you, what ingredients, what products, and what routine has worked for you. I thank you a lot for watching this video until the end, and I will see you on the next one. Bye bye.